And I said, I got to share this in class so it can start the foundation of what we talk about. Then I saw a video from Malcolm X, and Malcolm X said something that sounded really simple on the surface. He said, if immigrants can come to the country 10 years ago and pull their little nickels and pennies together and save their nickels and pennies and build businesses with that money and own real estate with that money and build family wealth together, why can't we do that too? Right? Why can't we do that too? And I listened and I said, yeah, why can't we do that too? What's going on here? What's happening here? Now, one argument that I've heard, and it's legitimate. Every argument's legitimate. I mean, people can say whatever argument they believe in, but one of them is that we're not immigrants, right? We have a different experience. We have a different, people view us differently, right? But then at the same time, I think the bigger question I kept asking myself is, I said, I came to a conclusion and then I asked myself a question. The conclusion is, I said, something is really wrong with black people. Not that we're screwed up, not that we're bad, not that we're terrible people, but there's something wrong, or maybe there's something wrong with black culture. How about that? Instead of internalize it, why don't we say culture? There's something wrong with what we're taught that's not leading to anything getting built or anything getting done in a lot of situations, right? I'll hear a politician complain and say they're racist, they're terrible, but then when you look at the substance, you say, well, what did you actually complete? What institution have you built? What businesses? What structure have you created? There's nothing. There's just a lot of screaming and yelling and everything else, right? A lot of fighting back and forth, and women want this and men want that, but then there's nothing there. Everything just gets burned down. And so I came to that conclusion. I said something is wrong with the way we're taught, right? Like I really think that it's so severe that when someone does try to come along and say, let's really look at this, let's really process this, there are people that get really angry about that. Like there are people who really get mad when you say, well, let's logically process this, or let's see what really makes sense. Let's see what's really going to get results. Um, and then so that led to my conclusion. I said, okay, something's really wrong with the culture in the sense that there's a lot of energy put out, a lot of yelling, screaming, a lot of working for white folks, spending money at the mall, a lot of stuff happening, a lot of social media chatter, but things don't get built. Things don't get done. Even at the highest level with the politicians, they do a lot of talking, but they can't come and say, "I got this thing done. I got 25 schools built. I got this." There's a museum over here. There's a billion dollar corporation over here that's created 100,000 jobs. Like there's just nothing, right? There's nothing except anger and yelling and back and forth. And so I said, that to me speaks volumes in terms of what the problem is. And I said, why doesn't the problem get resolved? Well, it's because we some of us are raised on a commitment to a very unhealthy, toxic way of dealing with the world and dealing with each other.